Hi guys, I was like so late today. Welcome. I don't know what's going on with my day, but I wanted to give you guys a huge update on the story, and I have been going to everything. Yes, I did share this video in the hoax, so I'm waiting for it to get approved for them to see it. I don't know if they've approved it yet, but if anyone wants to let anyone know over on the hoax side, I did share it in the group. I was waiting for it to get approved, and I don't see that Brandy or Crime Lines and Lime has shared it yet. So just trying to wait. I was trying to wait as long as possible, but I am going to be doing some things here quick, so I didn't really have a lot of time. So all right, welcome everyone. We are going to talk about Sophie Long, and there has been some updates that have come out. I am going to try my best to just stick to the facts here. I am not here to get into a debate. I'm not here to get into pettiness between other YouTubers. I'm not here to have any sort of back and forths. I am seriously here to just share the information, to let you know what's going on, and to be as accurate as possible. I know there's been a lot of misinformation circulating on YouTube, and it has not helped the situation whatsoever. But right now, Sophie Long has officially been declared a missing person in the state of Texas, and the Department of Safety of Texas posted her missing persons picture, and so she has been listed as a missing person. So Sophie Long is 10 years old, and she has been missing, they say, since, or she was last seen on July 12th. So let me just pull up the website so you can see. I want to just show you from the website, so there's no suggestion that I've made this up or that this is fake. This is straight from the Department of Safety's website. So this is from the Texas Department of Public Safety, their clearinghouse, which posts all the missing persons in the state of Texas. And she has now been listed as a missing person who has been involuntary. It's listed as an involuntary family abduction. She was born on September 16th of 2010. She is 5 feet tall and 95 pounds. She is 10 years old, 10 and a half. She'll actually be 11 coming up here in a minute. And she has blonde hair, blue eyes. She's female, and she's Caucasian. She was last seen in Seguin, Texas on July 12th, 2021. And this is what the circumstances say. It says, missing juvenile is believed to be with her non-custodial parent, Michael Long, and may be en route to Arizona, Colorado, Mexico, or Argentina. Michael Long is possibly driving an off-white 2010 Ford Edge SUV or a gray van with blacked out windows, an NRA sticker, and a black or a gray van with blacked out windows, a NRA sticker, and a rack on top. Missing juvenile has a small burn mark on one of her arms. And then her abductor is listed as Michael Long. This is actually a super old photo of Michael. I'm going to see if I can grab something more current. This photo of Michael is probably, I don't know, 8 years old. He does not look like this. He's a lot thinner. He does not look as clean cut anymore. So bear in mind, this is, I hope they do a more updated photo, but he is 6'4". His birth date is 12/24/1978, 42 years old, 205 pounds, blonde hair, green eyes, and he's white. He is male. And again, missing. They're thought to be going to Arizona, Colorado, Utah, Mexico, or Argentina, driving an SUV Edge, gray or blacked out, and our missing juvenile has a small burn mark on her arm. It's listed as an involuntary family abduction. So this is, yeah, it's probably his old driver's license. This is from the Department of Public Safety, so I'm guessing this might go off of his driver's license in the state of Texas. So what we have here is that she is now a missing person officially. And so this is the DPS website, just so you can see up here. This is the Texas Department of Public Safety. This is not a hoax. Earlier this week, when I shared this information, I was 1,000 million % not trying to mislead anything. It was for real. This is, yes. Texas DPS is law enforcement. Yes, they handle all of it. So, oh, that's one other thing I wanted to show you guys. If you guys need to contact, let me just share it with you. There's a phone number you can call to report if you see her. This is a law enforcement. It's statewide. So if you need to contact them, the phone number is listed. It's 512-424-5074. The helpline is 800-346-3243. The missing persons, they will take calls at the Missing Persons Clearinghouse, Texas Department of Public Safety. So this is a law enforcement bulletin that's been put out about Sophie. They've officially marked her as a missing person. And he speaks Spanish. So a couple things that have been completely misconstrued online is that in the middle of all of this, Michael filed this bogus appeal in the state. It's called like Amanda something. And he's trying to get the judge to be recused or thrown off of the case. He's already tried to recuse the judge. He has been trying to do anything he can to have the child removed, like to have the case overturned, because he knew that this was coming. He has used so many stall tactics in this, and he filed this last minute to see if he could stop these people from taking his daughter. This does not change the fact that he's lost custody. This does not change the fact that he is wanted. It doesn't change the fact that she is abducted. She is now an abducted child in the state of Texas. So here is some information about they were in court and they had this order that came out. I just want to read this to you. This is what the court found on July 7th, which is why he's currently running. It says the court finds that Michael Long has engaged in a knowing or intentional pattern of behavior that has interfered in the relationship between Sophie Long and Michael Long and Kelly Long. Basically, the court has found that Michael has alienated Sophie from Kelly. It says the court finds that Michael Long has engaged in a pattern of behavior that has interfered in the reunification counseling between Sophie Long and Kelly Long that is ordered by the court on or about October 2nd, 2020, which Michael agreed was in the best interest of Sophie. In October, there was that bulletin that was put out by Kelly's attorneys, which basically said they would be starting counseling to go through a reunification process. He obstructed that and did not go forward with that. He also told his, sheep or whoever you want to call it, that it wasn't really true. He, at every turn, has tried to degrade and dismiss anything this court has said. It says the court finds that based on evidence presented, allowing the child SL to remain in the care of Michael would constitute an immediate and substantial danger to the child's physical health and or emotional and psychological well-being. He has been listed as a danger to his child, okay? The court finds that it is in the best interest of SL that she be temporarily placed in the sole possession of the child's maternal aunt, and if necessary, in the temporary possession of the child's maternal grandmother. The court finds that it is in the best interest of the three kids that Michael Long have no contact with them for at least 90 days. And this is 90 days so that they can go through counseling. The kids need to be completely deprogrammed from Michael. They need to have no contact. They need to have they need to go through a counseling program where they can learn that what they learned by their father is not true, so that they can get their thinking recentered. The boys have already been with Kelly, but Sophie needs intensive therapy. It says the court finds that it's in SL's best interest that she and Kelly Long participate in reunification therapy. Reunification therapy is done when a parent alienates another parent by brainwashing the child with false information about the parent, making the child feel like that parent is a danger to them or a bad person. Reunification is going to help them both re-engage in a positive and effective way, and for Sophie to once again feel safe with her mother, who, by the way, before any of this happened, before any of the shit that Michael pulled on her, Sophie loved her mom. Sophie had always loved her mom, and Sophie had never been afraid of her mom until that day when they made the video because Michael didn't want to turn her over to court because he had lost custody. It says, conservatorship. It is ordered for the boys. That Kelly Long is appointed temporary sole managing conservator and Michael Long is appointed temporary processory conservator of the following kids. Those are the boys. And it's ordered that at all times, Kelly Long, as a parent, temporary sole managing conservator, shall have the following rights: the right to receive information from all of their conservators of the children concerning health, education, and welfare of the children. So this is what I have for them. And then Michael filed, I said he filed that bogus thing in court trying to delay everything. And this is what was the misinformation that was going around that made people feel like Michael hadn't abducted his daughter, because he's trying to throw a wrench once again and trying to get the judge again removed from this case. So it says on July 7th, the trial court ordered a temporary hearings matter. It says that he basically states that he became a non-custodial parent. He basically admits that he lost custody on July 7th. And then he lists a bunch of bogus excuses for why he thinks that the court should remove Michael Snipes, which, by the way, Michael Snipes is a extremely well-respected judge in the state of Texas that has a very good reputation. So this idea that Judge Snipes would suddenly be like out to get someone because of, some conspiracy is completely irrational. This is not true. A missing person has been ordered. He did not file an extension for the order. He is listed as the non-custodial parent. This is massive misinformation. He is the non-custodial parent. No extension. He is in contempt. They would not release this information if he were not in contempt. She is listed as a missing person. He is listed as the abductor. There is no, Will has done a massive disservice here to the general public about this case, trying to give any credence to the fact that what Michael is doing is at all legal. The Department of Public Safety in the state of Texas is law enforcement, and Sophie's missing. He's got no rights to her. He is not extended. The court has ordered, and they would not be putting out an official missing poster at this point if he wasn't wanted and if Sophie wasn't declared missing. I don't know whether or not the warrant, if there's an active warrant, I don't know where it would even be at this point, because not all warrants are publicly searchable in Texas. Not all counties have active databases. I don't know what county would even have the warrant at this point, because it's in multiple jurisdictions. So the missing child is Sophie Long. I told him all that. He wouldn't even read the entire missing poster. He left out the part about Michael being an abductor and a non-custodial parent. Yes, I will show this to you again, just so you guys know that there's literally no reason to lie here. I'll pull it directly up from the Department of Public Safety in Texas so you can see the poster. This is not there's no reason to, the only thing that's making this waters muddied and unclear is because YouTubers consistently are putting out misinformation about this case. I am not putting out any misinformation about this case. This is literally a missing person in the state of Texas through the Department of Public Safety, which is Texas law enforcement. So let me show you. I just want to show you, like, I'm going to pop out here so you can actually see this, so I can prove to you where we're at. Like here, Texas Missing Persons Clearinghouse online bulletin, Department of Public Safety. Watch. I put in her name. There's her little thing down here. Sophie Long. This is real. It has a phone number of where you can contact if you have access and if you can see him. He is listed as an abductor. Abductor. I don't know how much more clear you have to be. He is listed as an abductor. Sophie has been kidnapped by her father. That's the truth. Yes, the Department of Public Safety is the state police. I'm guessing that if a warrant does come out, it would be through Department of Public Safety just because it's a state warrant. County warrants can get lost, and I'm guessing since it's now considered a missing case. He also has an active case number, and it's listed as an involuntary family abduction. So this is not a hoax. There's nothing not true about this. There's no reason for anyone to lie about this. I'll look up the law for this in Texas. It's Penal Code Chapter 20, and it's called Offense Against the Person, Kidnapping, Unlawful Restraint, and Smuggling of a Person. And it can be let's see. Okay, so it's a parental abduction. It says under the penal code, which is Title 5, Chapter 20 in the state of Texas, point 3, it says a relative means a parent or step-parent, ancestor, sibling, including an adoptive relative of the same degree. Person means an individual of this. So basically, this would be a kidnapping where a relative is doing the abduction. And the actor, if the actor was a relative of the person abducted and the actor's sole intent was to assume lawful control of the victim. So he's basically committing a crime, which is a felony in the state of Texas. I can show you the law if you need to see it. It's Penal Code, Chapter 20. I'll show you right now. This is the law: unlawful kidnapping and restraint and smuggling of persons. And this is without consent because the victim is a child who is less than 14 years of age and or an incompetent person, and the parent, guardian person, or the institution acting in loco parentis has not acquiesced in the movement or confinement. The victim is 14 or age or older, and the victim is taken outside of the state and outside of a 120-mile radius from their house residence, and the parent, guardian, or person of institution acting in them was not acquiesced in the movement. So she's 10 years old. She has been taken away from her home, and she is not the person that is supposed to have custody of her, does not. And it was done by a relative. It's a felony if the person has restrained a child. Let's see. A person commits an offense if he's intentionally or knowingly abducts another person. It's if the defense under this section of the abduction was not coupled with the intent to use to threaten or deadly force, the actor was relative. The offense is under this section. So I don't know. He's taking her outside of the court order. He doesn't have custody of her. It's involuntary. It's abduction. She is not with the person she's supposed to be. So that's the long story of the short. She doesn't qualify for Amber Alert. There are certain criteria. She doesn't fall under that, I guess. She hasn't qualified yet for an Amber Alert. She hasn't qualified for an Amber Alert. And Amber Alerts are usually done like immediately when the abduction is like brand new, and this happened days ago. So they don't have an actual like car license plate number. They mentioned Mexico and Argentina. And they mentioned Utah, Arizona, and Colorado. The point of an Amber Alert is generally like when it happens really fast. And most kids that are abducted do not qualify for Amber Alerts. So I think there's a misconception that if you are a child or if a child's abducted, it's an automatic Amber Alert, and that's just not true. In Texas, the police seem to think the child is in immediate danger of harm or death to issue an Amber Alert. Most missing cases do not get Amber Alerts, so it isn't weird that she doesn't have one. And they're usually issued within like a very short time frame of the abduction. So Amber Alerts are kept to a very strict criteria to try not to water down. There's a clear-cut abduction process, and they want everyone to look out. So in this case, this is the bulletin. They've put out a bulletin, which is a good step, right? It's officially listed in the Department of Public Safety. There's no delays here. Michael is not waiting for an extension. Michael will say just about anything to make anyone that still believes his crap to believe anything, to hang on to any shred of truth. And the end of the day, he has abducted her. He has lost custody. The court has determined he alienated his daughter from his ex-wife. He interfered in their relationship. He didn't get her the therapy she needed. He has obstructed this process throughout the entirety of it. He was told in court months ago that he was not allowed to do any more false allegations. And if he did, he would have his rights terminated. Knowing he can no longer do a false allegation against his ex-wife, his next thing is now he has to say that it's the judge's fault. A judge that has an incredibly good reputation, that has never, is not out to get this man. I'm worried that he's had this planned out for a really long time and made a lot of plans on how to truly stay hidden. No, Kelly still cannot speak out. She has a gag order. So Kelly is under gag still, and she cannot speak. So at the end of the day, she is still required by the court to not speak about this. And because it's a custody case, she still can't speak about this. But this is for sure a missing persons case. And so I think, the biggest takeaway here is that, one, anything that he says, just because he says it doesn't mean it's true. He has a horrible record of lying, and they have been working all week to get to this point. They have been pushing the police departments. They had been pushing the judge. They had been working with all of the court officials to get this going. They knew this was coming like days ago. They just didn't know at what point it was coming. But this is for sure. Kelly will be under a gag order until trial. This is over, and this is the best we can do on her behalf to spread this exactly. So I'm in Texas, and I know how this works over here. It's not pretty. It takes a long time. Michael has shot himself in the foot. It has cost him all of his kids. So yeah, a stranger has not abducted her, but yes, they need to find him. What has never sat well with me and what has never sat right with me about this entire situation is Michael's obsessive focus on his daughter. Michael has 3 other children, all boys, 3 other children that at the expense of the girl, he doesn't care about, isn't concerned about, and is willing to walk away from 3 other children. Why is a father so obsessed with his daughter at the expense of his sons? What is wrong with him? Why would you only want one child? And why are you constantly accusing every other man in that child's life of doing things to that child so that you can have the child? What is your fixation on this child specifically to the expense and to the detriment of the 3 other children? Why? Why is he so focused on her? Thank you for talking about the facts of the case and what is stated by authoritative figures, of course. Why is he so obsessed with her? Someone tell the Glare that the Texas Department of Public Safety is an equivalent law enforcement agency. He is trying to say that law enforcement hasn't said she's missing. The Texas Department of Public Safety has a law enforcement support system. They are a branch of the, like, they're law enforcement. They are law enforcement. They do gun laws, they do crime information, they do most wanted, they do border security. So they are a law enforcement branch of the department or of the state. DPS is the boss here in Texas. And they do all of the training for Texas state troopers. So please explain to Will that they do all the training for Texas state troopers. They're literally the state police. They're the largest branch of the law enforcement in the state of Texas. And in cases of abduction, you'd have to have a state branch because it's not county to county, it's a state issued issue. Texas DPS is our largest branch of law enforcement, and the Texas Rangers work out of that department. Yes, they are the state troopers, correct. They train the state troopers. I can show you their main page so you can see this. What Will is doing is really not helping any of this. So they are the Department of Public Safety. They do law enforcement support. They do regulatory services. They issue driver's licenses. They also have crime records information. They do they get people ready to be state troopers. They are the state troopers. or they do state troopers. They have the division of the Texas Rangers. They recruit people to become state troopers. So I don't know how anyone could say that this is not a law enforcement branch. They also issue all the Amber Alerts. They do border security. They manage registries. They do unsolved homicides and cold cases. They're a divisional branch of, they're the largest branch of law enforcement in the state of Texas. Will is the last person you should want to get information in this case from. He has been wrong on this from the beginning. It's not even just that, you guys. It's just that he's clouding the waters, and he's really just not. It doesn't help to make it. It doesn't help to put out false information and to try to discredit the accurate information that's given out by law enforcement. It doesn't help to put any sort of doubt into what we're actually seeing, because what he's doing is creating this idea that there's fake news, and there's no fake news here. This is the truth, but it creates a scenario where then other people are given credence to doubt what happened. And the only type of people that tend to believe Will and Michael are people that don't read critically, don't think critically, believe whatever they're told, do not trust the government, believe in wild conspiracies, think that everyone is out to get them, and that, you know, every branch of the government somehow got this wrong. All right. So for now, that's what I've got. And please go to my social medias. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram at Without a Crystal Ball, Katie. And then on Facebook, it's at facebook.com/Without a Crystal Ball. And then you can also check out my Twitter, which is at WOAC Official, or Katie Joy, WOACB. And my posters are shared there for her. Make sure that you go to my Facebook and share the link, share the missing poster sign there, and hopefully we can get Sophie found, safe, and returned home. I disagreed once, but that's okay, isn't it? I'm here to support. Yeah, nobody's here to argue. I'm a real fan of yours, but why do you say that he's doing all this expense of his boys? What has he done specifically that indicates he doesn't have any access to his boys? He doesn't care what's going on with the boys. They've never been the focus, and they've never been what matters here. So anyways, I hope you guys have a good day. This is what I've got for now, and I will probably be back a little bit later tonight with another thing to do related to some other content that I've been dealing with. But for now, please share, like, comment, all that stuff. Go to my social media, go to my Facebook, share the missing persons poster, and help Sophie be found and bring Sophie home. All right, you guys, bye.